Hey guys, welcome back. Man, we're having a good day. Big time. 2 videos over 30 minutes. No uploading problems. It's been fantastic. Well, if you just watched my composite loop video, you know that I've got a composite loop sitting right here waiting to be tied in. So instead of just getting the fly to a certain spot, we're just going to, hey, how are you? Here's the composite loop and tie it in. Let's do a fly tying video. Let's get started. Aquafly's 51 millimeter shank cut down to 31 millimeter. Return eye. Okay. Aquafly's barbell eye. 1/8, I think it is. It's a big one. The Ultra Rig. Love the Ultra Rig. Okay. Overall length 3.5 inches. 50-pound Power Pro. Number 2 Jerry French design Talon hook. 210 white denier thread. Okay. Let's get rocking. We're just going to tie. I'm going to tie me in a tiny little fluorescent blue dubbing ball or intruder bump, whatever you want to call it, onto the back. We're going to make this a true 2-station intruder. Okay, little dubbing ball's good. I'm going to come in here with, I think I'll use 3 pieces of this blue Cascade Crest tool crinkle flash. Love this stuff. Good stuff. Bam. Line up the tips. Find the center. Tie it into the side of the shank. Tips and all lined up. Same size on each side. Cross it over to the top. Now remember, no editing here because I don't understand it yet and have the software, so we're just winging it. Okay, I like that. That's good. Okay, there's a product out. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's the Sailor Synthetic series, and this is called Glitz in Michaela Blue. It's kind of purplish, but what I like to do is I'm going to build a small shoulder here that I'm going to wrap some sort of, probably a piece of jalopin in front of it, and it really holds it up nicely. So I'm going to need a dubbing loop to do that. Let's run it up to the really close to the to the edge of that dubbing ball. There we go. Almost stuck myself on camera. Let's get that hook out of the way. Yeah, right on. Woo. Alright. Those hooks are sharp. Alright. Dubbing loop. Remember, dubbing loop is a good way to control your materials and make sure they just don't come undone from a dubbing loop. Really build your flies like a tank. Okay, I gotta find my... Uh-oh. Where is it, folks? I'm not seeing my... Here it is. Dubbing loop spinning tool from a company I don't want to tell you it's from. Okay. Take a pinch of this Glitz, pull it out of the package. Okay. Yay much. We're going to line up those ends. just kind of like we were doing with the dubbing for the composite loop. Find the center, fold it over, you're good. Now you're at about an inch, I'm guessing. Before you lay it into your dubbing loop, you got to wax it. Get your thread out of the way. I'm going to go all the way to the front and just get it right out of the way. Okay. You don't want this back station to be too hot and heavy. It's kind of sparse is better because your front dubbing loop is going to be the main focus. So spread that open. You know what? I need to change my glasses so I can see. That's a better idea. How about that? Oh, much better, yeah. Hi. Wow. Getting old in your eyes, I'm telling you guys, if you're young and you don't understand it yet, I'm telling you, when you get there, you're going to remember I said, it sucks. All right, here we go. Open that bad boy up. Grab your glitz. Set her in. Drop her down. Get it on the tool. When you get it on the tool, what happens is it pinches it. So now I can come up here and I can manipulate it a little better. I can spread it open. I can center it. Okay, there's nothing really in the way. Put it in the crease of your finger. Let her rip. There it is. Grab your pick. Come up in here and pick that all out. It's got to be all picked out. Nothing can be holding on. This stuff really does a nice job in the dubbing loop. Now we're going to palmer it and fold it back and palmer it forward until it's all gone. Nice and tight. Nothing is in front of the loop. Everything is to the rear. Okay? I hope you can see that okay. I'll show you here better here in a minute. I don't know if I can zoom while I don't dare touch my camera. I got it all kind of... I wish you could see how I got it set up. It's kind of crazy. I don't know if I want to touch the camera for a zoom in or not. I might try it though. Okay. Unwind your thread. Grab a hold of that. Get behind that dubbing loop. Secure it a few times. Get that dubbing spinner tool out of the way. Okay. Now, toothbrush. Got a little music playing in the background. Hope you don't mind. If you do, well, sorry. Alright. Okay, see that? Starting to look pretty good. Like it. You don't want this thread to trap anything. So get it all to the rear. I've had a small failure with my composite loop thread, so I've got to secure that better. There we go. Okay, stroking everything to the rear. This is my rear station. It is my rear shoulder. Everything's based off of this. So dubbing ball, 3 pieces of flash on each side. The glitz, and now I'm going to come in with probably some blue schlop in here, and that'll be the end of the rear station. Okay, so I don't know, can I try that? Oop, too much. That's better. Would you like it closer like that? I don't know. Maybe a little further out. That's better. Let's just leave it there. Okay. Anyway. Blue schloping time. I'm still learning. I should probably have had these feathers all prepped, but maybe this will be, you know, I've selected a nice blue schlop in here. You can see where we have fuzzy feathers and then crisp feathers. And right there at the line where they meet, I want to grab just a few fuzzies and leave them in, strip off the rest. find the same on the bottom, strip it out of there, get it out. Now, this is perfect to show you. I don't know, you might be able to see it on my... Do you see how thick it is up there and then how thin it is down here? You want to be wrapping the thin part of these stems. You want to search for the better part of the stem. It's just way better. Maybe we could talk about feathers someday, but right now we're tying an intruder, baby. Alright, I'm guessing not too many wraps because I want it to be pretty sparse, so I'm guessing maybe 3 at the most, which is about an inch and maybe a half. Okay, so everything that's forward I'm going to cut and get rid of so that I only have this little tiny tip triangle at the front to tie in. Now, don't throw these tips away. Save them. You can use them on tiny little trout fly, trout spay intruders, this tiny stuff. I've got a little container over here, and I'm just going to drop it in there, and then sometimes I just sit down and tie completely out of the scrap bin. So, it's fun. Good way to learn how to be creative. Alright, now, I want to show you something about this feather. You see how it's arced? Okay? You want the arc to be the same when you lay it on the top here. You don't want it like this. You want it like this. Like that. There we go. Not like this. You want it like that. Now the reason is, when I go to fold that up and back, it just wants to cooperate way better and lay better and look better when you do that. So I'm going to come in here, lay it on the top of the shank and secure it with the thread. One wrap. 2, 3. Okay, got it all nice and that's good. You don't want to get too many wraps up in here because you don't want that bulking up on you. Alright. Now, got that. Now I need to find my dubbing, or my hackle pliers. Sorry. Come in here and grab a hold of that. Lift it straight up. Now you can use your scissors to fold that back and crease those feathers, but I don't find it necessary most of the time. Come in here and we're just stroking everything. No glitz is forward, no feathers are forward. Everything to the rear. Bring it around and up. Stroke it back again. Stroke it back again. That's looking good. Stroke it back again. Okay, feather's getting a little goofed up, but that's okay. Because if you just keep stroking it all out, it'll come to you. It'll come right to you. I'm pinching everything to the rear. Okay, can you see there's nothing on the front of that stem? Everything's to the rear. Wrapping it nice and tight. Not too tight, you don't want to break that stem. Come around, grab it again, stroke it all back to the rear and out. You don't want to trap any materials. Trapping materials is not allowed. That's a violation. Alright, here we go. Almost done. That was more than 3 turns, but that's okay. It's still sparse enough. And you're going to come in here now, snip out that tiny little stem that doesn't create any bulk. And you're going to give it a few strokes here and then stroke it all back and then work that thread to the rear. Okay? Now, with your toothbrush, open everything up. Alright. One last step for the rear station. On your intruders, okay? You can put your jungle cock wherever you want. But it's my personal opinion. And I've been taught by Jerry French that jungle cock belongs on the rear station. So that when that front forward composite loop is wrapped, it doesn't cover it up. And it's not way to the front. Because it's supposed to be creating an eye effect on the head of a bait fish. Okay? It also looks cool when you do it that way because you can see it. Alright, so I was sitting here waiting for the last video to download, trying to think of what I want to do, and I should have had these selected, but I didn't. So let's select them now. Oh, here's two good ones right here, right by each other. Right there. You're mine. Okay, I have two wonderful, beautiful, natural, real jungle cock. And I am going to now have to try and envision where I'm going to have a small gap between my two stations here. And where is that front composite loop going to end? I'll bet you it ends somewhere in about the middle of, or the first quarter of this second station. So, excuse me. I want these eyes to stick out past somewhere in such like so that they can once again be seen. Alright, now, the best way I've found to do this is I don't usually tie them together, but I do cut them together. If you lay them belly to belly, make sure the tips are all the same. Exactly, you have one. There's two there, but there's one exactly the same. Gather up where you think you need it, pinch it where you think you need it, and add 1/8 of an inch. Okay, 1/8 of an inch. Before you let go, strip out all this stem, and now I have exposed, maybe you can see it on my shirt better. Now I have exposed those two little stems. I lay them down. Now remember, just like the hackle, we were talking about the hackle in the other day about how you want the brilliant side. There's a dull side and a brilliant side. You want the brilliant side facing out. Okay, so come in here, right on the side of the right. In the exact center on the side of the shank, lay it in there like so. Perfectly straight with the shank. Now you come in here on the other side and do exactly the same thing. Alright. With little thread pressure, it wanted to kind of cant down, so I tested it, and now I'm retesting it. It's wanting to misbehave. There we go. Perfect. Front, one side, the other side. Okay? The back station now is done. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap the shank forward with another product from the Salar Synthetic series. This is their flat braid, and I'm here to tell you it's really good stuff. It looks great, but what I like about it is it's strong. You can't stretch it, you can't hardly break it. Good stuff. They've got a bunch of different colors. If you need to, it's tough to find this company in lots of places. But I can tell you, if you go to the Portland Fly Shop, you'll find it there. Alright. How you doing, Jason? Alright, man. Here we go. Now, just going to wrap this forward. And notice I've got quite a bit of it, and I have a reason for that. Okay. One is, it's a little bit easier to manipulate when you're wrapping the shank, okay? But that's not the main reason. And when I get to the main reason, I'll tell you what the main reason is. Little plug for Sims there. That one's for you, Herb. I'm just being a nice guy, okay? It's alright for me to like products. It's alright for me to talk about products. Had a nice conversation today with Wade Taylor on Skagit Tire about just making sure everything is cool with sharing the videos and such. He thought it was all not a problem at all. and appreciated it. So that was good. Alright, see how I've left this forward? Okay, I have left that forward for a reason, because I'm going to take my pick and undo that whole braid and use it as a wing top and flash over the top when I'm done. Now, in critical moment, I need to determine where I want my composite loop to start. I know that it's approximately 3.5, 4 inches long, and it's going to take about 5 turns. And I want a little bit of space between the two stations, so I don't want to start too far forward, and I don't want to start too far back. I'm going to go back to where I think I need to be, which is probably right there. Let me point it out better with the tool. Okay, I'm guessing that's... I don't know. 1/4 inch? We'll call it 1/4. But it's a 1/2 inch to the front. Alright, so wrap to there. Now I'm going to make my composite loop so that I can reach over and grab the composite loop from our earlier video and tie it in. Okay, now it's important that you wrap the thread around itself and then back up onto the shank, because you don't want that moving. You don't want the thread, the size of the loop to move while you're pulling on it. And then once again, critical moment here, gotta have some thread or wax on your thread. Okay, a generous proportion would be good. See that big glob though? You don't want the big glob. Alright, so if you can get it out of there. I don't like to use my fingers, but I'm gonna. Because when you go to pick up that composite loop that we made, if you got any wax on your fingers, it's going to be sticky. So make sure you get all the wax off your fingers before you attempt to do that. Now, once again, dubbing spinner tool, put it on. It's sitting there ready. Okay, now I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to put it in. For you beginners, I just want to say this. I understand this anxiety you get when you start to do this in the beginning, because you're like, oh, it's all going to fall apart and da-da-da-da-da. Watch this, okay? Watch this. You grab your loop. You open it up. You reach over. You grab the whole thing. Thumb in the center. You bring it over here. You set it in the top. You put it up and you do it. You just grab it and stick the sucker in there, okay? Don't get all paranoid and freaking out. Once it's in there and the thread is pinching it, you can let go. Okay, there it is. All right, let's go over this again. Here is our Senyo Predator wrap. It's not ready to spin yet. I've got to do a lot of tending. Here is our blue possum hair from Pro Sport Fisher. And then we have our purple ostrich. And then we've got our accents of ice ripple fiber and some starburst fibers from Fly Tiger's Dungeon. Okay, now, when it comes to this point, you need your pick handy because it's time to lay it in your fingers in your hand and get your finger up behind there. And now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to start spreading it out and making it exactly, put it in the position you want it all to be in. Okay, this hair is way too far up in there. I've got to pull this hair down and in. Okay, and a little bit of that Predator wrap is a little too low. Over here, we're 50-50. We're good. Now let's adjust the ostrich. Okay, we're good there. We're good there. I'm pulling down. I'm just seeing if I can grab an individual piece of ostrich that's kind of sticking up way further than it needs to be. I can identify those by looking up into the ostrich. There's one that's longer. It came down good. Here's another one hiding up in here. Take your time. There's no hurry here. Good composite loops take time. Okay, now here's what happens. I grabbed, this is okay. This is a learning moment. I grabbed one tip thinking I was pulling it, and I ended up getting two. Don't try and save them. Just get rid of them. Trust me. Just get rid of them. Don't even try and save them. Don't have anxiety. Oh, it came out and I'm going to die. Alright? Just get rid of them. Now, I like the length of this, and I don't want it to be too far back because I don't want to cover up this back station. And I don't know if you can notice it, but they're really not in a good order here, and they're sticking up too far for my liking. So when that happens, when that occurs, yuck, got some stuff in my mouth. Beer's always good to have in case you get little fuzzy hairs in your mouth. You can drink and get those fuzzy hairs out of your mouth. Alright. So if you have some ostrich that's kind of yucky and it just isn't tending well, here's what you do. You come in here and you grab a hold of your scissors and you snip them babies all off. Now see what happened is my scissors grabbed a hold of that hair, and I didn't wish that wouldn't have happened. We're having a couple learning moments here because I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Alright, I lost another piece of ostrich. So this is a good learning moment. 2 of them. Alright, now, get those chunks that you just cut and get them out of there. Double check everything before you spin it. Nothing's in the way. Everything's ready to go. These little chunks gotta go. They'll probably comb out later, but I'll get them now. Alright, let's take another look. I can even pull these down further. Okay? There is your composite loop that we did the video on. There is your composite loop we just stuck in there. It's time to spin it. Take the first crease of your first knuckle, lay that in there, grab a hold of your spinner, spin that baby. Okay? I like to let her rip on the first try. It tightens everything in and down. I'm going to grab my pick, okay, and I'm going to just start working all that material nice and loose. You don't have to go crazy here at this point. You're going to have some stuff come out, and that's okay. Because remember, 2 things. Less is more, and if it comes out, it wasn't designed to come to the party anyway, okay? It doesn't deserve to be at the party if it's not going to cooperate in the loop. Now, I've got it pretty much, that's the first spin, and I've got it pretty much picked out nicely for us, but here's where a couple other steps are very important. We're going to take our toothbrush now, we're going to stand everything up, we're going to get anything that's loose right out of our way. Gone. El gono. Okay? I don't want any loose materials in there that may potentially become trapped. Alright? I don't think it's picked enough yet because I can tell by looking on the inside of the thread that there's still some work to be done. And that's where the old cat comb comes in. Okay? Cat comb. Yeah. Dig in. Don't be friendly here. This is the test. Okay? This is the test. Alright, now. This is where, if you have a bowl of water, you're going to get your fingers wet and start stroking things back. But I don't do that. I do it a different way. I take a napkin and I lay it underneath. I pull it straight up, find the neutral position. Neutral position meaning when I pull up on it, it quits spinning. Okay? Put it in my hand. Grab my composite loop juice, which is just water. Okay? And spray it. There it is. Okay, now, when you started to spray it, it started to go backwards for you. And I'm just taking that and running with it. And now it's time to wrap this composite loop, keeping tension up on it, keeping everything back in a stroke position. Okay, and I want to wrap that around the shank in a way that is, one, tight, and two, it's very tight, and not on top of each other, but right in front of each other. Make sure you get your thread out of the way. I didn't do that. Now it's out of the way. Okay. Now I'm going to take and continue to pinch, stroke, and wrap. Okay? Forward. Keep going until you get to the very front and or you run out of composite loop. All right. Good. Looking good. Now we're into the ostrich now, which is perfect. Just behind the eyes, the dumbbell eyes, one wrap. Two wraps. It ended up being perfect, guys. This is sweet. This is awesome when this happens. This is a great feeling. Now, I have about a 1/4 inch of a little bit left. I'm going to cross over the top with that, and I'm going to then just make a few wraps and get my thread, capture it, get behind it, get my thread, capture it, behind it, get my thread, capture it, behind it. It ain't going anywhere now. I can let go, come in, lay that thread on the back side of that dumbbell eye and get it out of your way, because you're going to come in here and cut this dubbing tool out of the way. Okay, there we go. Now it's in. Everything's done. Composite loop is in. I'm going to continue even though we're at 33 minutes into the video. See what happens when I download a long one. Hope it goes through. This is a crucial point here because now I've got to come in and start to address my composite loop. So I'm going to give it a wrap behind the eye. And I like to get out in front here now. And I'm going to, in front of the eyes, I'm going to give it a half inch. Once, push, half inch. Good half inches. Really nice, tight, strong half inches. Now I'm going to come in with my toothbrush and I'm going forward with everything, even the back station. Be careful, you don't, kind of got to be careful of your jungle cock with those stems. My cape is quite a bit older. I had a gentleman from a long time ago who's no longer with us, Jerry James, gave me this cape, and it's just older, and because it's older, I tend to be careful with those stems. I don't want to break them. All right. Now, you've done everything forward. Now go backwards. Okay? Back. Now, grab your pick. And we need to reach down in here and we need to pick out all of anything that's trapped. Okay? Alright. We're not done. We have a few steps to go yet. And you can see now, let me separate them. There is a nice little separation between the front and the back. When it's all dried up, you probably won't be able to see that, but that's okay. So, you're all picked, you're all stroked with your toothbrush, you're all back, everything's in good order. Now I'm going to take this piece of flat braid, come in here behind my eyes again, center it up on the center of that between the eyes, okay, and I'm going to cut it for my overall length that I want it to be, which is the hook is right there, and just a little past the hook, I'm guessing. That looks good. I'm going to cut it on a severe angle so that they're not all the same. And now I'm going to take my tool. This is a little bit time consuming. So you take your tool, put it in your finger, and you start to separate the ends of that until that whole flat braid piece is completely separated into individual pieces that looks like you tied some flash into it. I really like doing this because, one, this stuff is just tough as nails, and two, the color of it's got a little green in it. It's really cool. And it's not a waste of material either that way. If I were to just cut this off and throw it away, that wouldn't be cool. So you just stick your pick in there and pull it through, and before you know it, you're up to the front of the fly and you have a bunch of individual pieces. Now, I need to go and the next thing after we do this is we are going to select two really nice long Intruder grizzly hackles to put on the top of this for a wing. And gotta be careful when you're picking that, because sometimes it catches like that just did. But if you're careful, you won't break anything. And you do about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch at a time. Just put that pick right in the center of it, push it through and pull it out. Push it in. This might be better done with your smaller needle-like bodkin, which I see right here. Let's try that. It might be easier. Yeah, way easier. If you can get a needle-like bodkin to do this part, it's way easier. Okay, so it doesn't look like much now, but when we get her dried up and all, it really looks nice. Okay, so that's all separated. One more time. Very good. Awesome. Okay, now, I was at the Albany show and I bought 5 really cool capes. And I got this Kingfisher blue cape, of which I did not have this color. And it is really cool. And this is like, I think this might be the first time selecting from it. So don't mind me if I look like I'm enjoying myself. Because I am. Because this cape is beautiful. I'm determining in my mind where I want the hackles to end, and I'm thinking just past the right there at the junction of the tubing, the end of the tubing. And what I'm looking for when I'm selecting is 2 that are close together that look almost exactly alike. Some would say that you should select from the right side of the cape and then from the left side of the cape, but that's not how I do it. Golly, I should have done this a long time ago. I should have done this beforehand. Sorry, fellas, but man, this is beautiful and I'm enjoying this. Where are you two? I know you want to play. I need longer, thinner, not shorter, fatter. Over here. Yeah, right here. Here we go. I'm going to find them right here. Right there. 2 of them. Yep, right there. Okay, good. Here are the 2 that I selected. Gonna line up the tips. Just like we did on the jungle cock. And have the tips be exactly the same on the end. Okay? Now, I'm gonna come in here. And I'm going to just guess at where I think I'd like them to be. I'm thinking like right there. So I'm going to pinch my position I like. And I'm going to add 1/4 inch for my trimming of the stems. So I'll come in here now that they're exactly the same on the ends. Trim them. And before you let go of your pinch, strip those ends off. And then when you go to tie them in on the top here, you want them to cross so they go over the back. Okay? One in. Two in. They've crossed right in the center. Okay, there they are. Awesome. Okay, now, got to come in here, get a few good wraps, and build a little bit of a head. Don't build too big of a head here, because you got to come back in behind the eyes and do a couple wraps for security's sake here. Okay, now I've got white thread on the blue, and it really isn't the color I want it to be, so I have some Sharpies nearby, and what I'm going to do is take this blue Sharpie and I'm going to come in here and color up all this thread in the top of this head, and all that head is now going to be blue instead of white. But I've got a little gluing to do and some half itching, and if you're a whip finisher, this is where your whip finish will come in handy. I hate whip finishing. I'm a half hitcher and glue guy. Alright, so looking good. I like that already. So what I'm going to do here, half hitch really strong behind the eyes. If I can get 3 of them in, I will do that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I've got 3 in, I've colored my head, everything's good. My hackles are beautifully placed where I like them to be. Everything's kosher, good. I'm getting my thread out of there now. Done. Now I'm going to come in with some Zap-A-Gap and just give it a little tiny dab will do you. Grab, once again, your needle bodkin and work that Zap-A-Gap glue that you just put a little dab on there right to the back of the edge of that. Okay, now come and spin it upside down. Whatever's left on my bodkin, I'm going to do that. We're good. Now, if you want to see a final picture of this fly after it gets the big blow dryer, I'm going to be posting a picture of this fly on Skagit Tire, so hopefully you'll go and take a peek at that. Alright, we've run into a little bit of length on this one, but it was well worth it. I hope you enjoyed the videos for today. It's probably going to be a while before we make another one, so enjoy, and let me know in the comments maybe what you guys would like to see, or if you have any questions. I hope that this has been informative and helpful to you. Alright, remember, shoot straight, keep your powder dry. Tight lines. Talk to you later.